morning at 4:05 a.m. for their 5:44 flight, as they are spending the week in Florida without me, and I'll be home with the animals.
So why are you not going to Florida and doing a show remotely and getting us all the sunshine? Why are you not doing that?
Because they love the beach, and I don't. I love a good swim shirt.
You love your family.
You know that? I do.
I'm confused. We all now that have done this show with you know if you want to get Jason somewhere, you have to invite the family. That's job
true.
one.
Uh-huh.
Now, this seems completely out of character because there is no football. Packers, there's not any news that's breaking. You can break from Florida. You don't break news anyways. You
That's
spring
also
it.
very fair. No doubt about that.
The fact that your family, you can't live minutes without seeing them. And now they go for a week somewhere warm.
Yeah.
And you decide to say, no, I'm going to stay back. And then I know by the middle of this week, it's going to be how lonely you are and this other stuff. So I am just utterly confused by this decision.
So it's actually the third time. You've lived through this before, though, and I think that's the experience talking when you say that what I'm going to be like midway through the week, because you're right. That's how I was the last time. So once it was for a gymnastics meet. Once it was for a vacation to Savannah, Georgia, and Jekyll Island, which they loved. I think there's a book that Joshie read that's called Jekyll Island, too, that's about, the U.S. Mint or something, which I think is on his list of books you're supposed to read. And now this is a trip to Clearwater, Florida, which they love the beach.
So
and
why are
going
you not
for
going?
shells. Because we have 2 dogs, now sadly only 5 cats, as we lost AJ as well last week, and 4 hamsters. So we did not have pet sitters available. I have some other things that I need to get done around the house because, I'm Mr. DIY fix-it guy. And I think I'm going to go play some pickleball at some point during the week because I'm hooked. So I got a lot on my plate.
Okay, first off, we love that you played pickleball, and Jason and Sid came over. We had our grand opening off of Holmgren Way up in Green Bay with the Pickler. I did the show there on Friday. It was awesome. Jason and Sid have a long way to go in their pickleball development, but I could not have been happy that they showed up. And
we could have gotten better.
5 points, yeah. There's rules that you have to learn yet, but I think your athletic abilities. Pickleball will be a good game for you. I think you'll be able to pick it up quickly. And
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Pros. You should. I played with we have a pro there now, Zach Gonnering. He's a top 5. This is, again, top 3 player under 23 in the state of Wisconsin. He's got big. I played with him. Didn't have to play against him, thankfully. And so we had a great Saturday. We stayed up there. I think we ended up leaving about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I had a great crowd. It was awesome, and we appreciated you guys coming over. And I think you're always welcome over there now, Jason.
It was really fun. So if you have listened to this show for a long time, you understand the drill with me with Tausch, and that is this: that initially there are times when he says things where I think, ugh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then almost invariably, with very few exceptions, I think, okay. And it's gotten to the point now where I skip the step of, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because I'm smart enough to know that eventually I will come around to your ideas. But pickleball, I have been hearing about pickleball. What are we coming up on? Our 9th anniversary?
It'll be 10 years, and it'll be 10 years already in August, I believe. Or maybe it's only 9.
I think it might only be 9. But be that as it may, whatever it is, it feels like 15. But I've been hearing about pickleball all this time, and then Jesse started playing, and he is very arrogant about his game. Whether that's well-placed arrogance or not, I'm not sure. I haven't seen him play. But I am here. I had never even touched a pickleball racket other than perhaps grabbing one in the store to
paddle.
To look at it. Paddle. See? Yeah, exactly. Paddles. See? Proof of my inexperience. That was the first time I had ever swung a paddle on a pickleball court. And I can see why people love it so much. We only played 5 points. You and Sarah beat us 3-2, I believe. But it was really, really fun. And everything you've said about it is 100% true. And so if you live in the Green Bay area, the Pickler is already open. The grand opening, they had the VFW was there and TV stations were there. It was just a festival. And I think there are rumors that there's one of those locations coming to the greater Milwaukee Metroplex at some point.
There is, yeah. Menominee Falls. That'll be, I would say, a couple of months away. Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and it is phenomenal. Like I know that you don't do things half blanked. And I know you're heavily involved, and our buddy Shane is involved, and so many others. I walked in there, and it was really impressive. So, and it was really fun. So I can't recommend enough. If you've never
and
played,
especially for those that saw some of what was going on Friday on the live stream, a lot of work was done between Friday and Saturday to get that up to code, but now it's off and running, and we got members. It's rolling. So yeah, and Jason, again, thanks for coming out. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of folks. I played about 2.5 hours, so I was good and sore on my drive back.
Yeah, I bet.
The greater Madison Sun Prairie area, and as we were doing that, I think we got back. The big news breaks about 9:00 that night on what I think most people looked at, thinking this way: that Sham Sharania, how does he say his name? Sham Sharia, Sharania. Did he get hacked when he saw that trade?
That's what people thought. But no, the trade is true, and I know that piqued your interest. Being the big NBA guy you are, right? I mean, you know, you were on top of that Zach LaVine trade for De'Aaron Fox, too. Like, you were on top of all these things. You knew they were coming because you're an NBA analyst. But
yep.
Now, where does Luka Doncic rank in your NBA players I love power rankings? You've got Giannis. You've got, who else is on your list? Jokic, is he the number one?
Jokic, I think. Giannis is my number one because I'm a Bucks fan, first off.
Of course.
But then I think you start looking at you got to go offense, defense, total play, all that stuff. Luka can't guard anybody. I would say he is I'm not going to take pot shots at Benny Brust this morning, but he can't guard anybody. But offensively, he's probably one of the best players in the league. And in a league that doesn't play a ton of defense until you do, which is in the playoffs, you got Wemby. There's a list of guys that you would think nobody's touching. And it so happens the Mavericks, I believe, reached out to the Bucks before the Lakers in wondering, hey, Giannis, Steve the Homer True has been talking a lot about Giannis wanting to be traded. What's your interest level? And the Bucks said absolutely not. Then they went to the Lakers, and Anthony Davis, who's a good player, I don't think, obviously
Packers
he's older and he's a big Packers fan. And the whole thing is just odd. Like, it's just weird. And what it got me thinking is never say never. All these crazy trades that I like to come up with and you put in the trade machine and you think, people, that's an idiotic offer. That's what everybody thought. And then the Lakers end up getting a guy that they think is going to be like a transformational guy for the next decade for a guy that's kind of older and broken down a little bit. That's why you never say never. And I think that's the lesson learned from what we saw and heard Saturday night.
So the idea that you had, and I loved it, of course, was that, all right, if this trade can happen, really, any trade can happen, right? So let's have some fun with it and think outside the box. The carbless talk and text line lists more, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. 76. All right, make a trade involving the Packers. Obviously, this is a Packers-centric show, not an NBA show. So what are you putting together as a trade if Doncic can be traded? Max Crosby can definitely be traded. Myles Garrett, who Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Browns, said under no circumstances is he trading Myles Garrett. You say that until you don't, right? So what are your pie-in-the-sky dream trades? Now, you've got to give something up, okay? This is not we'll trade Jair Alexander for Josh Allen, and we'll throw in a 7th-round pick. Not that. But, like, try to balance it out. What deal would you make in your pie-in-the-sky, they did what? Trade that you can think of? 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Tausch will give his, which I know he's been giving thought to, after he tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
No, it's a new month. New month for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and it's never been a better time to experience Pella in person, and you get all of your questions answered. Visit Pella at the Nari Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. You can get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You can rest easy with Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show, and you receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply. And as always, we'll get Gina to give us that booth number. I know that's always something people are questioning. Like, well, yeah, it's a big place. You know, you got that big Nari home show. Oh, it's all. So Gina,
wait, is it
the great team at Pella?
What's it called? The Hope, the Nari Hope show?
It's up. There's hope that you are going to have a much better home when you put those
home
new windows
show.
and doors in. So it could be hope. It could be home. It could be hope for your home. It's all depending on how you look at it. But we'll get that booth number to you sometime this week as well. Again, check out Pella at the Nari Home Show, middle of February coming up.
And I know that you love to find out that booth number, but if you've ever been to one of these, which I have when she did one at State Fair Park, the Pella area, not small. So even if you forget after Tausch gives you the booth number, trust me, you'll have no trouble finding it at the Nari Home Show. Your pie-in-the-sky Packers trade. We're going to have a little fun today, so don't be a party pooper and say that this is dumb. I'm fully expecting those tweets because that's what happens on social media. But we're going to have a little bit of fun, then we'll get to more serious conversations about the Green Bay Packers. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. More next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, which you know I've loved going way back to when I was a kid participating in the legendary Book It program. And now here's a question. Do you get pizza or do you like wings? Well, at Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 dips, and it's all for just $19.99. Pizza Hut is home to the original stuffed crust pizza, topped and stuffed with over a half pound of delicious, melty cheese, and Pizza Hut's boneless wings. They are kitchen-fried and not oven-dried, sauced and tossed to perfection, and delivered hot directly to you. Pizza and wings or wings and pizza? The best deals have both. The unbeatable value of the stuffed crust and wings bundle is perfect to feed the whole crew on game day, family night, or any gathering. Order on the app or order online at pizzahut.com. The stuffed crust and wings bundle, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
All right, fellas, let's tackle the age-old question, what do I get her for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and wow your Valentine. And get 25% off your entire purchase. Books makes it simple. Choose the Quickie Book. With a click of a button, get their best-selling bouquet right on time for Valentine's Day. She'll brag about it for weeks. Or pick from their collection of unique modern designs or go for their flower subscription, the #1 husband life hack, and be the hero every month. You really can't go wrong. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from where they grow best. So you get bigger, brighter blooms that last longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. She'll be blown away by how stunning they are. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble the flowers. Get your order in now. Go to Books.com, use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Val Richardson, Madison East High School. Welcome, Val.
Hey, thank you.
I got to ask you, you scored 47 points in a game back in November?
Yeah, that was the second game of the season.
And it was against Madison Follett.
Yeah.
So you got Eastside Pride. Was that a biggie?
Yeah, our rival team, I have to. You got to lock in for that game.
When you look back in your time at Madison East, being a Pergolder, what's that going to mean to you?
Definitely being a Pergolder just means like putting in that work and definitely representing the colors, the purple and gold. That's really stood out to me, and just being like a good person, a good teammate, having a good personality.
We're on the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They were good. They were not good enough.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
All right, I can tell you right away that I'm going to be terrible at this. I'm boring. I'm realistic. This is not my area of expertise. Being fun, thinking outside the box, creativity, not on brand. You, on the other hand, old boy, I'm assuming you've got about 8 to 10 trades lined up already.
I still cannot get over the fact
that I didn't go to Florida.
You're not in Florida. I had a text come in. It's like I can't get my head wrapped around.
I think they need a break from me from time to time, too. Let's be honest.
No,
I'm a little overbearing.
No, so you're over at the office all the time. You miss, no doubt, you are too helicoptery. Everybody knows that, but that's that's you. But I don't get this. This fits all the mold. I think what's happening. You have not been on a plane since COVID.
It's true.
I think
2019
you're afraid of flying.
NFC Championship game. No, that's not it. I'm still afraid of water. No,
I think you're afraid of flying.
No.
Well, why wouldn't you go? You tell me you couldn't get somebody to come and watch your dogs? They have dog shelters up in Green Bay.
Well, we're definitely not putting the little loves of my life in a dog shelter. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you know what I mean. Those little puppy places.
Yeah, the daycares
that takes care of dogs.
the kennels.
Yeah, they're gone until
Yeah.
they're gone until Sunday. They get back Sunday.
That's 6
it's going to be a
days.
struggle. Yes, it's believe me, I am aware that it is going to be a struggle.
Riley,
for moi.
why is Jason not going? It's not because of dogs.
I don't
Riley,
understand.
why is Jason not going on this trip?
I feel like Jason, for some reason, doesn't want to go.
I am a party.
But that's crazy
Yeah,
because
I know
all
it.
he wants to do is hang with his family every last waking second of his life.
By all accounts,
But
it doesn't
then they
make
go on a
sense.
fun trip to Florida, and he says, have a good time, and I'm going to sit here. I don't even have to work. There's nobody over at Lambeau. He doesn't have any work-related stuff. He's going to be bored stiff.
Hey, they need a linebackers coach.
This makes no sense at all. Under any circumstances, I cannot get my head wrapped around other than the fact I just don't think he wants to get on an airplane. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's I would admit
Scary
it if
times.
that was what I was scared of. It is not. I am still scared of water and other things. But no, it's not that. It's so one of the biggest things, and maybe like, are you and Sarah really good travel partners? Like, do your interests match up really well, or is it a give and take of we take one trip that Tausch really likes? We take one trip that Sarah really likes. And obviously the kids
I would say,
factoring into that as well.
I would say of all the things, that's probably we're most aligned.
Okay.
Like, I think we pick and choose. We have, I think, very similar interests. And the big interest is making sure we have good experiences. It's not about you know, I just am not interested in sitting at on a beach for 7 days. A day, certainly, but that's not where we like to kind of live. We want to go, and that's why food is a big part of it, everything else. So, yes, and if you say, how is it set up, I think it would be very similar. You would take on all of the planning.
I would.
Because you are Sarah, and I am Paula when it comes to, and then I will jab you and say, why don't we do it this way? And then hopefully you'll come around, and everybody will work together to make it a good trip.
Well, so you've just hit on the primary reason why I didn't go. Because Paula and Madison and Sydney are all aligned on I want to spend the maximum amount of time at the beach. I want to hunt for shells. I want to put my feet in the ocean. I want to run around on the beach. I want to sit in a chair and read a book on the beach.
What do you want to do?
I
Hold
don't
up a
want to
second,
do any of those things.
What do you want to do?
So,
what do you want to do?
So Paula, being the great teammate that she is, you know, we got engaged in 2008, thanks to your NFC Championship game loss, in San Francisco. And then our honeymoon in the summer of 2009, so we've been married 15 years, was to New York City. Paula loves the beach. The girls love the beach. Me, I hate the beach. I don't want to sit around and do nothing. I want to go to cities and do stuff. I want to go to San Francisco and Chicago and New York and I want to go to Disney World. They're not going to Disney World. They're going to the beach every day. They're at a Marriott hotel that's near the beach. They're getting up every morning. They're walking over to the beach, and they're spending the day at the beach in the sun, in the surf, in the sand. And I don't want to do any of that. I'd rather stay home with my dogs and my cats. So that's why I didn't go.
It's just so.
You're Team Jason on this. You just said
I'm not,
one
though.
day at the beach
Jason,
is enough for you.
Yes, but I know how you are wired.
I don't want
You're
6
not
days at the beach.
Isn't there
It's
a
with your
compromise in
family
there?
and your group. You go eat. You're telling me you couldn't pull Sid away to go down and check out something else? Like, come on, of course you could. It's not all just going to be that. They'll spend time at the beach. You could catch up. You could read. You can go and do something too. It doesn't have to be.
I don't want
to
to
But the fact
read.
that you would go 6 days away from your family when you can't go 4 minutes in your real life, you can't go to a wedding for an hour and a half because your kids don't get invited, but you can spend a week without them because they're sitting on a beach? It's crazy. It's crazy. It is.
From the carbless talking text line, DJ
Is that font
in the,
really fuzzy, or am I crazy?
It is. Yeah,
it's really
I
stretched
keep
out.
thinking, man, my eyes are leaving me.
No, DJ in the Saw, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say is Wausau, not like Warsaw. Jason,
or
don't you? Could be, yeah. Anthony Pieper. Speaking of Marquette greats, by the way, Sydney's volleyball tournament yesterday was at the facility, which is Travis Diener's place. What a cool place that is. And I got to talk to Travis for a while. He loves Uncle Homer almost as much as I do. But as DJ in the Saw asks, Jason, don't you have friends to hang out with? Sounds like you may need a couple. No, I've got friends. In fact, I'm going to go see one of Domofsky's kids. Hopefully both of them play basketball this week, which I wouldn't normally do because I would be at Sid's practices or carting the girls around to their other practices. So, yeah, I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to get out of the house for a few hours, but not the beach.
Here's the deal. None of this aligns with anything that you're about, though. And that's why it's so troubling to me. None of this.
I think it doesn't
align
for them and for me.
But it's healthy for you to skip a practice too, and you don't have to go to every. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't make you're literally saying I'll never miss a game. But I will skip a full week where I'd spend 24 hours with them. You know that doesn't make any sense mathematically or sensibly, right?
No,
do we understand that?
I am acknowledging that it is incongruous with my general approach to life. That said, I would also argue that some absence probably makes the heart grow fonder, and perhaps the girls need a break from me. I know Paula does.
Yeah, maybe skipping a practice, and I've always just chastised when I say that. I'm not doing it. Here's what you always say, Jason. This is that prime time of my life where the kids still want to hang out with me. But you know what? They're going to be 7 days down in a beautiful beach. I'm going to skip that. But I'm not going to skip where I have to go lay on a grass field while my daughters are watching a football game, and I'm sitting around a picnic table smoking a cigarette, writing an article about Jeff Hafley's defense.
When did I start smoking?
Do you understand how absurd this is?
So it wasn't absurd enough you had to put me with a Pall Mall in my mouth, too?
A Marv Red.
Virginia Slim? I don't know what you're... Lord knows what you were doing with those high school kids.
Yeah, you got me. Exactly.
Do you understand that picture, how crazy it is?
You, as some artists work in clay or watercolors, you work in words. And me
my Lord.
At a football game with a Virginia Slims,
laying on the ground,
would I be like a lighter guy or
and you're a little bubbler with just sitting there thinking, man, I'm going to miss these days. Taking a pull off your Virginia Slim with the little cigarette cover on it at a high school game and some freshman. Oh, what a picture this is! But you know what? No, then when my family goes down and we get 24 hours a day with each other, they need a break from me. Someone help me understand because I can't. I just it's dumbfounding.
Jason needs an extended smoke break at home.
And he's not even home.
Ripping some darts.
Can't smoke in the house, though.
I don't understand. I just don't.
Jason, here's a potential solution here. Potential solution. How about you go on a trip with your daughters sometime after this in the near future during the Packers offseason? So then you can each parent has the opportunity to spend that one-on-one time with your children.
I would just first of all I would say this: if they were going anywhere where they were going to do more than just hang out on the beach, I would have gone. And Paula doesn't need 1-on-2 time with them necessarily. They are getting a kick out of the idea of the girls' trip without the only boy in the family. That's fine. I'm doing my air quotes if you're watching on YouTube. But no, Paula is much more and she's not very good at compromising overall, since I know she's on a plane. She's not listening right now. But this is one area where she's really good about compromising. Like, she is a trooper. Like, when we went to New York on our honeymoon, or when we've gone on other trips to New York with the girls, like, we pack in every touristy, got to do this, got to do that thing on those trips. And she's a trooper. She would rather be relaxing on a beach, and instead we go to 3 Broadway shows, the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building and everything else. So she's great about that. We don't need for me to just take the girls on one trip without her. Quite frankly, it's better for the girls if she goes too. Like, they'd be eating terribly. It would not be a positive experience for them. So they're going to have a great time. I am going to list some hangers on Facebook Marketplace and spend some time on my own. Another text on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776.
It's like Hangman. You're almost playing Hangman there, because there's some words I can see and some words are like half filled in on the Carbless Talk and text line.
I would also like to get to the trade ideas at some point. Will they hang out with the girls now? Because freshman year and older, they don't want to be coddled by daddy. All right, so Maddie's a freshman. Sydney's an 8th grader. That's from Erica in Milwaukee. Knock on wood, they still like having me around. I'm not as embarrassing as some other dads are. We had a great weekend with all of Sid's sports, including pickleball briefly. Maddie had a great gymnastics meet last night. I'm really lucky. I've got a great crew, and they're not sick of me yet. But yes, Erica, that is the crux of my life, and why Tausch gives me a hard time about not having friends is because I forfeit them to be around the girls. So again, this is not this is your life, Jason Wilde. This is Wilde and Tausch. We want to get to some of our wacky NFL trades in honor of Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers.
You know what's wacky?
American Family Insurance?
No, wacky is not going on a family trip to stay back to watch the dogs. But American Family Insurance, nothing wacky about American Family Insurance. And Packer fans, get ready for some game day excitement next time you're at Lambeau. Jason, you got a little time. Stop by the American Family Insurance Title Townhouse. Experience the thrill of making a game-saving play with your interactive Protect the End Zone game. Don't miss out on all the amazing giveaways. From exclusive Packers merch to special prizes, there's a little something for everybody. Visit us at Titletown to make your game day unforgettable. For more info, check out amfam.com/Packers. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
We will get to these trades and maybe a few of your texts. The YouTube chat is having a field day with this as well, by the way. We will get to some of your comments there. I know that some in the I think it's the Milwaukee chat that feels like I give too much attention to the Madison chat, so I will try and
you
be
gotta balance that.
equitable.
Balance it. Yes.
As opposed to just ignoring it the way Jesse does, and Tausch doesn't engage because he's a subscriber but doesn't know how to be part of it.
What I'd love to do is you pick Madison one day, I pick Milwaukee, but for whatever reason, my subscription doesn't get me in the chat, which I still haven't figured out.
We will, well, at least we've got you on camera, and you're that part of the video on YouTube. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
James got it on the near wing left. He's going to step back, hoist up a three, and he cans it.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tosher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Well, the teams competing in the big championship game in New Orleans were great at recognizing when to make the right changes for the success of their franchises. You can also make a great change with a switch to Everlight Solar. Our family was thinking about making this switch for a while, but we weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the team at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text Line. This is more.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Talk Badger sports year-round with the Jump Around podcast.
The one thing I learned from Coach Alvarez is the plan to win.
Tune in for the Top Badgers conversations every week, featuring special guests with Wisconsin players, coaches, and more.
In my mind, a lot of the alumni mind, kickoff starts now. Everything we do between now and August 30th, 2025, we're determined where we go as a program.
The Jump Around, brought to you by Steinhoffels. Streaming live every Thursday on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Just announced 0.99% APR for 60 months on select new 2024 Audis. Eligible models include the Q4 e-trons, Q4 e-tron Sportbacks, and the Q8 e-trons. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per 1,000 finance. All offers require qualified credit through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends February 3rd, 2025. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com and see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthandFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death.
Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette.
Riley Yauk!
Yes?
We do not promote smoking on this program.
I'm not promoting smoking.
Nor vaping.
I'm not the one smoking cigarettes at high school practices.
Yeah, no kidding. Virginia Slims. By the way, did we not violate our free advertising policy by mentioning Virginia Slims by name? So now we have two exceptions, ice cream shops and cigarettes.
Seems like that's the direction we're going. Yeah.
What a wholesome show. All right, Tausch, I'm starting to get complaints.
Which part? You not going and spending 7 days with your kids and
I
family?
didn't tune in to hear about Wildy's family's vacation without him.
Well, you should have tuned in because that's part of the deal.
Get to football. Yeah, I understand. I'm with you.
So before we do that, how do we feel about the Pro Bowl?
Do you intend to ever get to this idea?
No, I do. This is football. It was the first weekend in forever that we didn't have football to watch, and it's a bummer. All right. I mean, I think we get into that rhythm. Obviously, everything comes to an end at some point, and the Super Bowl coming up this weekend will end that. But I just remember all of the folks complaining and, the Pro Bowl stinks. And is what they're doing now any better than what it was? At least there was a semblance of football before.
You were obviously busy with the Pickler.
Yeah.
Did you watch? I've been seeing the highlights have been showing on the various TVs here in the Grubel offices. One called That's All Studios at the Avenue in the 3rd Street Market Hall here in Milwaukee. I did not watch a single second of it. Did you see any of it at all other than highlights on social media or on TV?
No, I saw highlights, and there's no O-lineman. And listen, man, I never made a Pro Bowl. I saw a bunch of games being played. It was obviously not as intense as a regular season game, but they were still hitting. I remember the punter got laid out by Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor, yep.
Back in the day. And we don't need that, obviously, either, but it was still football. And if you're going to do that, I just wonder if maybe just going all flag football would be better, where you're still running the football. And to turn it into a 7-on-7, I don't fully get that either. You can't cancel it because there's money involved and sponsors. I understand all of that. But I said at the time, why is everybody so bothered? That they're not tackling it. They shouldn't. So you're now at the case. And listen, I'm not going to this is not how I operate. I'm not going to sit here and complain and bicker and say, this is dumb. You have the Olympic Games coming up. Let's start doing what they're going to do for the Olympic Games and play flag football. Let's see what that looks like. Let's get a taste so you start promoting it rather than doing whatever this was.
But they did have a flag football game. I mean, they did have one.
They did. But I'm saying I just saw
like a tournament?
The wideout from Tampa, Mike Evans, discussing he's going to be retired. He wants to play in the Olympics. This could be a great launching point. I'm not even sure what the format's going to look like for the Olympic Games. I don't know. But it would be awesome if you did a little 8-team, every division gets to pick their top players, and you break it off that way, and you make it a tournament style where you play 2 games on Saturday, and then the championship is on Sunday, and you play it just like the Olympics are going to do it. That, to me, is what they need to do, because right now they're playing dodgeball. They're doing fun stuff. That's cute. I love the old quarterback challenge where they used to put the ball in chalk and then fire it at moving targets, and all that stuff's good entertainment.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like they solved a problem that didn't really need it, and now they made it worse. I don't think more people watched it. And you're trying to promote flag football for the 2028 Olympic Games. Embrace it, start running with it, and divisionalize it off so that the NFC North is playing the NFC West, and you just put it up old school bracket style, put it up on the board, write it down, and see who advances on.
I love this idea. I know you were hoping for pushback because that's supposed to be my role around here when you come up with these ideas. Do you hate the other stuff enough that you would eliminate that, or would you allow that to continue for those unlike you who enjoy the Newlywed Game style game show that they did?
Jason, that stuff's all fun, and that's the Thursday night. Thursday night, do whatever you want. Yeah.
Sure.
All I'm saying is you want to continue.
So do you want to put so your idea, just so people understand this, because for those of you that asked for football, you're getting it. Flag football, but football nonetheless. You would put together basically an all-star team from each of the 8 divisions, and you would have a bracket, and there would be a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, right? Like, you'd get guys to play in it, as long as you're not playing on the beach, right? Who was it? Robert Edwards? Was that the name of the running back? that blew out his knee playing like sand football.
Yep.
If you paid the winning team, you would get guys to go, right? They would take their a few days of their off season because you can't make enough teams if you just take Pro Bowlers that are elected. So would you have 4 guys from each team in the division make up a 16-player team? You'd have to have guys that could play both ways. Like, flesh this out for me because I really like the idea.
You have 4. I think every division's got 4 teams.
Correct.
You pick the best players at each position. It's now you're still going to have all pro and all where the money comes, and you can still do Pro Bowl voting. But you basically get the 4 coaches of these divisional teams and GMs to pick their best guys at their positions, and you go out and play, and you make it a divisional battle where everybody comes together. So you got Justin Jefferson and Jair will be on the same team. All of a sudden, that's all mic'd up. You don't think that's fun?
I love it.
I would have a great time with it, and I think there would be a lot of pride for an NFC North that struggled. All of a sudden, you get Amon St. Brown. There would be some fun to it, and I think the biggest part of this is the promotion of football moving into the Olympics, because right now it doesn't seem – I know people are out there doing things. This is a great avenue and a great time of the year to be pushing what you're looking to get. And the NFL guys are all in. Guys want to win a gold medal. We see that in basketball and hockey. You're telling me that guys aren't going to want to try out and play for this USOC team that's going to be playing in L.A.? Of course they will. So it's just a great opportunity, and I think you could collaborate and make it really an interesting made-for-TV event that would replace the garbage that we saw this weekend.
All right, couple questions. Not for you, for our fans. You could join us via the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Carbless, less is more. Was it garbage? Now, Tausch, I'm not here to trash you on what you call garbage, but I would like to know, if you didn't watch any of it, how do you really know if it was garbage? Like, you saw a few highlights. Like, if you sat down and watched it, if you'd had a little bit of free time, maybe you would have enjoyed it more. They did play a flag football game.
I didn't.
Your idea is taking it to a next level. They were jumping in like a big pit full of
Jason, if you throw a
foam
bag,
squares.
So here's the deal. Granted, I did not sit and watch the Pro Bowl, whatever they're calling it, in its entirety.
Games.
I saw enough highlights. If someone takes a white bag and wraps the red straws up and ties it up and throws it into your receptacle, is that garbage? I didn't see everything in the bag. Is it garbage?
Well, it could be recyclables, but you're right. It's garbage. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's my first question. My second question is, do you think you would get the requisite engagement from all the players? What would you have to do to get them to do that?
Yes. Olympic berths are on the line. Olympic berths and winning teams make money, yes. Every round you win, you get paid. Yeah.
And so, and last thing, this is not a bracket that the winner, you still want to put together an all-star team for the Olympics, right? You don't want to if the NFC South wins the bracket, you're not really going to send them to the Olympics, are you?
No, the Olympic Committee gets this, but they get to watch this tape, and you're promoting it. You're getting more and more people. And then maybe the guys that are outside of the NFL that think they're the best flag football players in the world, they get to play against this team for the championship on Sunday night on NBC. You put that out there, I guarantee you people would be more intrigued than what we just saw.
Yeah, I would love to get the feedback from people who, A, actually watched it and liked it, and B, people who watched it and think like Tausch does, that was ridiculous and a waste of their time. 844-770-3776. Or jump in to the chat in the YouTube channels, ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison. I'm monitoring those and getting your thoughts from there. We have moved on, although not as far as maybe some would like, from the Wilde girls' vacation without me and into football. We will get to our trade machine as well coming up. Want to remind you, though, We talk Packers a lot on this show, and when it comes to Associated Bank, I'm always telling you about Packers Checking, which allows you to get Packers checks, a Packers debit MasterCard, and, of course, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, both in-store and online. But did you know that their great customer service comes with all kinds of other great perks as well, such as Credit Monitor and early pay on direct deposits, which allows you to have access to your money up to 2 days early with your direct deposit from your employer. There's also the $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you overdraw your checking account by $50 or less, they've got you covered, and there's no fee for that. And speaking of no fees, 30,000 plus surcharge-free ATMs nationwide. So go to AssociatedBank.com, find out more about all the great perks that come with being a customer, and make the switch today. AssociatedBank.com. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Rah! Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
There's a ton of new faces joining the Wisconsin Badgers volleyball team. Head coach Kelly Sheffield joined Jim, Matt, and Molly, and he explained just how new this entire roster is.
Carter Booth is the only person on our team that has been through our spring. This is Charlie's first spring. Mm-hmm. This is everybody else on our roster's first spring here. And so, Charlie was kind of talking about today's practice is a little quiet. It's as they're all trying to get a feel for each other and things, and I'm sure that'll get a little bit better.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
And I'm not a Super Bowl party guy. I want to watch the game. So,
okay, I like that.
Because I've been to those parties. You don't watch the game. Everybody's wearing you out, and your head's on a swivel. You're doing everything but watching the game. I like to watch the game.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Wilde And Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Back from my smoke break on Wilde And Tausch. It's pretty funny, I gotta say. That made me chuckle. Especially having grown up. Did your parents smoke?
No, they did not.
Both my parents smoked, and man, it was like that smell. You just can't get rid of it. I remember we used to have these tiny little cups of vinegar throughout the house that were supposed to like absorb the odor. Like our white curtains would be yellow. It was terrible. Don't smoke, kids.
Do you guys like the smell of cigarettes, though?
No, hate it. I choke on it.
Tausch, what about you?
I love the smell of cow manure.
I knew I would have bet $1 million worth of cow manure that was
you
coming.
would have. Nah, you're too scared. You would not have done that. Who are you kidding?
That's true. I would not. I don't have $1 million.
I understand why if you're not exposed to it all the time. I just remember, like, my dad would come home from playing sheep set up at the local watering hole, and back in those days, man, you couldn't even bring the coat in the house.
Yes,
because it stank so much like smoke.
Imagine living.
So occasionally, if you're walking around and you just get a quick whiff as you're walking by somebody, I can understand the intoxicating aroma if it's a minimal once in a 3-month, 6-month year. But if it is constant, no, I'm out skiing that.
Okay, that's fair because my grandpa was a chronic chain smoker. Like he'd rip through like a carton in one day. So then whenever we visited our grandparents, it'd smell like smoke in their garage and a little bit in their house. So I have a good nostalgia associated with the smell of cigarettes. So I love the smell of cigarettes now.
Is that how you stay so thin?
Yeah. I'm just ripping darts all the time. What can I say?
Dart ripper.
I'm
on a 5-year plan. I was started with cigarettes, and I'm going to the pipe. Yeah. I'm going to go to cigars. But 15 years will be good.
Exactly.
Working my way toward the gum. I'm actually on the gum, working my way up to smoking. All right, I want to get to this trade idea. I also want to get into your thoughts on the Pro Bowl games and Tausch's alternative of a bracket. Again, I don't know how your brain works, and sometimes it doesn't when it comes to like IT-related things that you're not adept at figuring out. But these ideas...
I have another phobia that I think I told you I have another phobia that is just driving me. Parking garages. I have a phobia of parking garages. It's like a
You've
nightmare
had some confrontations.
I can't get out of parking garages. I really struggle with the parking garage. And being a Midwest guy, I don't want to have people behind me wait. You get 2 cars behind me, I start getting into panic mode of when they're not a man or woman little deal where there's someone that can help you.
Yeah.
And the little gate thing won't open. You can't back up. You're trapped. You're pissing people off behind you. It is a thing that bothers me. And I do my best to not ramp it if I don't have to.
This is a very stream of consciousness show today. Cigarettes, vacations without your family, parking garage phobia, crazy NFL trades in honor of Luka Doncic, and flag football all-star games at the Pro Bowl by division. Any of those, it's dealer's choice what you want to chime in on. The YouTube comments, they're doing their own show over there. One thing is constant, though, especially with the back and forth that Paula and the girls and I did all weekend for the various sporting events up and down I-43, and that is Quick Trip. By the way, we stopped at the one in Belgium, and I have never seen the hot food station so brimming with choices at once.
Oh,
it was a poo-poo platter. You had every possible option there. I got myself a pretzel. Sid got herself nachos. We got
Slurpee and the other. Yeah, you had a pretzel.
The
one had a
Furriels.
Slurpee. Well,
love the
life
Furriels.
is busy. Quick Trip gets it, and whether you're heading down I-43 and getting Slurpees or getting all that, for reals, well, craving a fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal, Quick Trip's got you covered. Variety and quality, fast service. Quick Trip's team is all about making your day easier and better, and man, do they do that. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries and everything in between, Quick Trip has you covered. ATMs, free air, car washes. Oh, my gosh, you just go through car washes everywhere since it's warmed up a little bit. Now appetizers, crispy tornadoes packed with bold fillings, or zesty mini tacos, bite-sized, totally irresistible. And don't forget to take home and bake a freshly made cheese mountain pizza. You know what we found? I love the pothole pizzas there. I think they are as good a pizza. It's just fantastic pizzas, right? We had people over on Saturday when we got back from the Pickler. I'm not one of these guys that does the order ahead. I like going in. Old girl, she went down, ordered ahead. The pizzas were hot. We put them right down on the old plate when they got there. Boom, boom, boom. Of course, it's Monday, so you get $6.99 rotisserie chicken. You get 16 ounces of ground beef for $2.99. Quick Trip's got everything. Take advantage of it all. Order ahead for pickup like we did. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best, ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Starting in the National Basketball Association, obviously Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers for an aging, injury-prone Anthony Davis and, 2 cheese-filled breadsticks from that hot bar at Quick Trip rocked the sports world this weekend. But aside from that, the Bucks also played last night, dropping their home tilt against the Memphis Grizzlies 132-119, despite 30 points from Giannis and 20 from Chris Middleton off the bench. And speaking of Chris Middleton, the Bucks are still reported to be in the mix for a Jimmy Butler trade with the Miami Heat after the Golden State Warriors dropped out last night. And if it were to happen, Chris Middleton is expected to be a major piece. The NBA trade deadline is this Thursday at 2 p.m., so head on over to ESPNWisconsin.com to stay up to date on the latest Bucks trade news. And in the NFL trade news, Myles Garrett just a few minutes ago requested a trade. Keep an eye on that, Packers fans.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. By the way, I was just listening in Milwaukee. I heard Tony Smith's voice, the Marquette Hall of Famer, and the sidekick to Homer on the call of Marquette men's basketball games. Happy belated National Marquette Day to those who celebrate.
Yeah, you can't lose on your National Day. Like, you can't. And I watched a lot of that Marquette game. It was on
instead
Big
of the
Boy
Pro Bowl
Fox.
games.
Well, this was on Saturday night, I think. You can't lose. You make a national day for yourself. You got to get a dub. And Connecticut, it was not even great atmosphere. I'm sure Homer, when he joins us on Wednesday, can tell us if we let him or if he thinks he can talk college basketball on this show. But the atmosphere looked awesome. Everything. And it never felt like, I think they fell behind by 20 early and could never dig themselves out of it. But you can't have your national day and you get routed at home. It just can't happen, right?
But it did.
So, Jason, I know we pushed back on the trade talks and Doncic and everything else, but
not anymore.
I just tweeted this. Big news. When Joe Thomas cousin subbed for you for the full 3 hours, and he was great.
And he brought
He
bagels.
was basically telling Myles Garrett, the way Joe Thomas did it was a pretty good way. Joe had an opportunity to go to the Denver Broncos and win a Super Bowl with Peyton. Peyton himself called him, told him to go take a dump on the general manager's desk in Cleveland to Costanza his way out of Cleveland, as a matter of fact. Joe didn't go down that route. Well, Diana Rossini and Adam Schefter and all of your insiders just put this thing out. And this is the guy. And when you were asking me for trades and all this other stuff, Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns, there's no more, will he go? Well, he has requested a trade to an NFL contender. Myles, Goody, hey, Jason, hey, take a look.
Oh, I see you.
Take a look.
Oh, I see you.
Come on home. Bring him. Come on. Green Bay's beautiful.
Wait a minute. Bring him home.
No, I didn't say home. I pulled back. I pulled back.
Check the audio.
Check
the tape.
Okay.
Check
I pulled
the tape.
back from
he said
home. Bring him. Not fling him. Bring him. Not like your helmet throwing with Mason Rudolph. Just bring him. He is exactly what this team needs. And I know 2 weeks ago would have been crazy because he did not say this. You got Max Crosby. You got all these other guys. I want Myles Garrett in Green Bay. That's what I want. What say you?
All right. So, as is always the case, a couple things. I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about crazy trades. The Cleveland Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, said about a week and a half ago, under no circumstances are we trading Myles Garrett.
I heard Mark Cuban say that he would leave his wife before he would trade Luka Doncic. So let's take words. Words are words.
I did
about that action, boss.
I said that when I quoted him. Myles Garrett turned 29 years old on December 29th. He has 102 and a half career sacks. If you're asking me as a beat writer and radio host, if I want Myles Garrett on the Green Bay Packers, you bet your bottom dollar, Annie. No doubt, right? How incredible of a story is that? It is somewhere between getting Julius Peppers, who is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, although he was at the back end of his career.
Yep.
And getting Reggie White. He is younger than what Reggie White was when the Packers got him in 1993. Reggie White was 31.
What Reggie White was?
Wedgie Wright.
What?
Not easy.
Reggie White was 31. White. Myles Garrett just turned 29 about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So he has been a field tilting player. My question for you, since I wasn't on that show, I was on my way to Eau Claire that day. What was Joe Thomas's argument for why he wouldn't want to request a trade to a contender? Like, does Joe not want to be the only one who had his career, his Hall of Fame career, spent in Cleveland and not having much to show for it in terms of team success? Does misery love company? What was his argument?
I think Joe's point was it's all going to be down to the individual, and I think he felt at that point that Cleveland could go pick up a quarterback, and the rest of their roster is pretty good. And I would agree that I think the rest of their roster, but their quarterback position stunk. Yeah. And that is no different than when Joe played. And now you're sitting here, and I think the Browns have come to grips with the fact that Deshaun Watson has got 3 more years of guaranteed money. And you can draft a kid. You got an early pick. Myles Garrett knows this is his elevator era. He is in his elevator time where the experience and the physical tools are together. It is – I'm not going to be hyperbolic here and say you tried to make the comparison to Reggie White. I'm not going there. You also went Xavier McKinney, Charles Woodson. That's what you do. It's part of your charm. Myles Garrett is a field tilter. There's no Kenny B. Is he elite? All of the questions that we've had for Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, some others. Myles Garrett is him, as the kids like to say.
Yes,
you can't go into a game. You can't go into a game and say, well, we'll just put Zach Tom and let him go to work with Myles Garrett. Zach Tom's a good player, but I think you're crazy to just let him go all day against a player of Myles'. He is your bullseye guy. He is the guy on Wednesdays, Tom Rossley or Tom Clements or whomever would say, can't let this guy wreck a game. Green Bay doesn't have that. No. Green Bay has that. All of a sudden now you start looking, well, then they got Edgerrin Cooper at the next level. Oh, and then they got Xavier McKinney at the next level. Oh. All of a sudden you go from being a good defense that, didn't answer the bell to some against the big boys, the Lions, Vikings, etc., to now I think you'd make an argument Philadelphia's got the best roster in football. I don't think anybody's arguing that. Kansas City won't argue that.
Right.
You add a Myles Garrett without giving up a ton. I don't know. The Doncic part of this now, again, nobody's going to say if Myles Garrett gets traded to the Packers for a first-round pick, is anybody going to say they fleeced them like they got Doncic? Doncic is going to be a verb for GMs. And every GM is going to sit there with their team and say, we're not getting Doncic here, are we? Or are we Doncicing these guys? So thank you to the Lakers and Mavericks for now verbalizing Doncic, which is a word I've loved saying for years. The Packers have an opportunity here to make the big splash, and I think they should go and do it.
All right, we're going to get into this because we started the day with we're going to have some fun with the trade machine because of Doncic, and now we've verbalized him. So wait, did the Lakers Doncic their roster by getting a superstar 25-year-old player who maybe wasn't in great shape and needs to work a little bit harder?
No, I
and
think
learn how to play
Doncicing,
defense.
It's the new Herschel Walker, according to most NBA folks. You just got one of the top 5 players in the world for 1 first-round pick in Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis, I think, is getting slighted in this a little bit, if we're being fair. But the idea that this could happen was one of those, he's untouchable, nobody on earth would ever do it. It's not the haul that the Dallas Cowboys got.
Right.
When they traded with the Vikings.
Which was a bad trade for the but it can't be the Herschel Walker because the Herschel Walker trade is viewed as a bad trade by the Vikings.
No, Doncicing means you got Donciced is you got fleeced. That's what the Doncic is. Most people think the Lakers fleeced the Mavericks. That's what they think. Because Bridges with the New Yorkers and the, I guess, Brooklyn Nets, they got 5 first-round picks for him. Rudy Gobert got, I think, 4 first-rounders from the Timberwolves to Utah. And they only got 1 first-round pick. I think that's where the Doncicing comes in.
Well, we'll get more into this. Are you on board? And here's the key question then. What are you going to give up? What's it going to take to get Donciced? What's it going to take to get
Would they
Myles
take
Garrett?
Rashawn Gary? Would they take Rashawn Gary right now as a Pro Bowler?
Let's get into that next. 844-770-3776. You've got to send a pass rusher back. They're going to want somebody, and they're going to want draft
I think they want
capital.
picks. They don't want to take on. They want a young.
If they're trading a guy with 102.5 sacks who's only 29 years old, they want both. They want a ton of picks,
Jason,
and they want a player.
If they're trading him, there's already talk that teams are in the tank mode for Arch Manning. Teams are already not going to draft a guy this year. They want full-on tankage to get Arch next year.
Aren't you kidding
me? The Cleveland Browns, by saying if they trade Myles Garrett, Jason, they are telling you. They're not saying it. They're telling you we're tanking for Arch or we're tanking for next year. We're not interested. That's what they're telling you. They're not saying, I need all this talent. They want young, cheap talent because they got a monster contract hanging around their hats that they can't get rid of, that is basically an arbitrage of not going to be able to do anything for 2 years.
Well, I don't know how many times you played Myles Garrett more or fewer sacks when you would play Prize Picks, but if he joins the Packers, I'm guessing you're going to be going more a lot.
Well, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars. I had my free Flex Friday pick. I went with a 6-piece, which I normally don't do. Wasn't good for OT. I didn't win, but I had fun. I picked more or less on 2 players. I went 6. Wanting to have a chance to win big. Didn't happen. But the big game, it's almost here. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, will only need to throw 1 yard to win. And if you're correct on at least one other stat projection, it's real cash in your pocket. You can check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners, big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks.
Run
your
big
game.
Adam Schefter, as he often is, very helpful on this. He's got the particulars of the trade that sent Khalil Mack from Oakland to the Bears and what the comp was for that. I'm going to read that to you next. You can tell me if the Packers, A, should give that up, and B, if it's going to take even more for Myles Garrett. We'll do that next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson for Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced last year for 60 days, and I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat simply by changing up my diet. It's the big week of the big game, and you know what? Maybe it's time for you to have some big weight loss goals here in 2025. And after 1 month into the new year, I understand it might not be working. Trust me, I've been there. There were a bunch of different weight loss programs I'd tried over the years, and I just couldn't find a good rhythm. I couldn't do it by myself. That's when I got in touch with Madison Weight Loss. Their expert team of coaches helped guide me through the entire process. They have the entire program laid out for you. A nice booklet where you can see all the different approved foods and different recipe ideas. And guess what? I was able to drop 40 pounds over 60 days simply by changing my diet. The natural, healthy approach to weight loss. Trust me, the program really works. If you're interested, schedule a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Tausch, I know you accused me of overusing my phrase, one of my favorite humans. But you would agree that Gabe Neitzel deserves to be on everyone's one of my favorite humans lists, right?
He's a good dude. Very good dude, hard worker, good teammate, no doubt about it.
Yeah. National radio voice. And
big star. Yeah.
With Dave Kane sliding over for some of the TV responsibilities, he is also, at times, the radio voice of the Milwaukee Bucks. Hi, Gabe.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Tausch is all excited. You are a diehard Packers fan.
Yes, sir.
From the mean streets of Horicon. Horicon?
Horicon.
Do you want Myles Garrett on your football team?
Yes.
What are you willing to pay?
Well, so that's the interesting thing. I saw Diana Rossini had just tweeted out one NFL GM on what a trade for Myles Garrett could look like. Probably a 1+. Can't wait for the 3 1s crowd. Not happening. A 1 and a 2. 1 and 2 3s. Throw a player in there. So that's what Diana
throw a player in there.
So Diana's saying a 1+ based on a chat she had with an NFL general manager. So, again, and I think I kind of jokingly say this to you, Jason, but I think I'm also a little worried about it. The fact that the Packers would not have a number 1 pick and first-round pick the year that they're finally hosting the draft after Mark Murphy had pushed and now finally has it, I don't think that would actually factor into getting Myles Garrett, but there's still something in the back of my head that's saying Murphy really wants them to make their first-round pick.
So you have said this to me before, and every time you do, then I stop and think,
if that's the case, just hold up a second. If that's the case, Gabe, shame on everybody up. If you know what you do, still go with in between picks, bring Myles Garrett up on stage. Say, Packers, this is your first-round pick, and you'll have Bedlam up at Lambeau.
Bedlam.
I get what you're saying, but if there's anyone that is thinking that, shame on everybody.
I mean,
Myles
it's
Garrett
only one person. It's only one person, Tausch, and he's got probably the biggest ego up there.
Who?
Mark Murphy. Like, he was the one, if he would be the one.
This is his baby.
He would be the one that would nix this thing because he would be the one. This is like his own retirement present for himself. As he's going out the door, he got the biggest event that you could possibly have for the Packers in the NFL, because Green Bay's not getting a Super Bowl, but they can get a draft, and then they've turned this into, and to not have a draft, not have a number one draft pick. Again, do I think it's a 5% chance? Sure. Like, overall, I don't think, but do I think it's crossing Mark Murphy's mind? Probably. Like, would he rather have that number one pick?
Gabe, there's a lot of things that cross people's minds, and then they think, boy, what an idiotic thing that was.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett would be, there would be no, I don't care. There's the dude from Marshall. I think his name's Rice. Correct me if I'm wrong. That
Last
was just
name Rice.
blowing up the Senior Bowl. And he is a dynamic cat. He's going to be a top 10 pick. There is nobody in this draft. I don't care if Lawrence Taylor Jr. is in this draft. There is no draft that would impact next season more than number 95 from the Cleveland Browns. There is not. So while
Tausch,
I
agree
agree
100% agree with you. I 100% agree. Like, I
Okay.
want Myles Garrett. I'm just telling you, the one thing that sits in the back of my mind is the guy who has the biggest ego on his way out, and his biggest event is about to happen. Like, I doubt he does. I doubt he nixes it. But that's just the thing I'm scared of, man. Like, that's the biggest thing I am scared of.
Man, you saying this makes it sound like Mark Murphy's going to start avoiding you and going through the Hudson Center instead of walking next to you.
Just, again, and I say this, Evan, never talked to Mark Murphy, but just the evidence is out there. I mean, he turned the opening press conference about Matt LaFleur into himself. The kind of way
Well,
Jerry Jones
in
made
fairness,
the
Gabe-
Schottenheimer one about himself.
Gabe, in fairness, his entire integrity and football knowledge was called into question by one Jason J. Wilde 2 weeks prior. So I think part of it was y'all questioned everything about me and my football acumen. I think that had something to do with coming back out with that press conference the way
The
he did.
20-minute soliloquy that he had.
He
That's
did.
Jason's fault?
Jason tore him down in a pretty big way.
Wow. I
How do you
trust
make
that, Tausch, that ultimately
he hit him with the no offense. No offense, Mark, but what the hell do you know about picking a coach?
First of all, let's if you're going to quote me, be accurate.
I think you lit a cigarette up right after you said it.
It was
right after he asked the question.
It was not no offense. I went with the alternative. With all due respect. Which then means I'm not going to respect you. And ever since then, I mean, when he started walking through the Hudson Center, when we were outside for practice to avoid walking with me, I'm sorry. I did not think it was an unreasonable question. Maybe I asked it too harshly, but I do think
pretty harsh. It was pretty harsh.
It needed to be
especially
asked,
from you, Mr. Softy. It was very harsh.
Thank you very much. So again, the tweet from Diana Rossini talking with one NFL GM suggesting that a first-round pick plus other picks or players.
You would do it, right, Tausch?
Okay, so Gabe, Jason, I have a proposal.
Okay.
I got a proposal for you, and it fits the Diana Rossini model. This isn't going to be three firsts. This isn't going to be three firsts, right?
Correct.
This year's draft pick is going to have to go. The number one pick, and
it
I know
is.
Mark's going to be upset, and this year's first has to be on the table. Okay? Then I'm going to throw in Lucas Van Ness in a fourth. That's my offer to you. That's my offer to Cleveland. Is that enough?
Am I supposed to be Andrew Barry here?
You can be whoever you want.
No.
Feels a little light. It's a first-round pick on a rookie deal. What do you mean that's a little light? He's 13th pick.
And he's got 2 years left on that rookie deal.
Yeah, 2 and an option. No, maybe 3. He's only 2 years in. He's got 3 years.
No,
2 and
he's
an
got
option.
2 plus the option year, and if you don't want to pick
3.
it up, but you're not going to. If you're not going to pick it up, it's not 3. And the first round pick, what are the Packers? 23rd. Now look, I am not going to disparage 23rd overall picks because we have one on our team. Brian Bulaga was an outstanding 23rd overall pick.
Well,
So, Jason, one of the things.
But Jason, if he wants to go to a Super Bowl contender, that first-round pick is going to be in the 20s.
Also true. Unless you're a team that.
And here's the other part of this. Cleveland doesn't want to win. And you know what? If the Mark Murphy piece to this that I had not thought of, and I don't believe there's probably a smidge of him hoping that there's a draft. Cleveland is going to tank next year. If they trade Myles Garrett, it's over. They're tanking. Why would they want to have a first-round pick starting the clock now? Wait till 24 or the 26th draft. Take that first-round pick. Take this year's third. And then if you want, maybe the Lucas Van Ness piece to this, not as important. If I'm Cleveland, I'm saying I want Carl Brooks. That's who I want. Because I think Carl Brooks has proven more than LVN so far.
I mean, I'd
but
do that.
Don't take a first-round pick this year. Move it down the road so you can tank in a big way, and then you get that pick next year, and you get another year as you're building your program back up to get 5 years starting a year later than starting it this year.
So just to be clear, you're sweetening the deal by removing this year's first-round pick?
Yeah, everybody wins.
Because that'll
Murph
help
gets his pick.
That'll be better for the Broncos or for the
It will
Browns?
be better for Cleveland, yes. Yes.
If you're Andrew Berry, do you have the security in your job to say, oh, yeah, give us the 26th first-round pick and let my replacement potentially make it? Like, they went 3-14, man. He was involved in the decision to bring in Deshaun Watson, was he not?
I mean, he was.
He was, yeah.
And technically, yes. That seems like it was all Haslam. But I guess he was. I
Right,
guess he
and-
was the one who has to take the blame for it.
Correct.
With it all blowing up because Haslam's not going anywhere.
So if I'm
So,
Andrew
guys,
Berry,
would you give up 2 firsts to get Myles Garrett?
a first this year's and next year's firsts?
This year's, or if I'm Cleveland, I'm saying give me 26 and 27. Are you doing it?
And do I get
Khalil
to
Mack
include
got
LVN?
No, I want to keep LVN if we can.
You're trading Carl Brooks. He's like your favorite defensive lineman.
I'm saying
What do you want to keep LVN
I said
for?
from Cleveland's perspective, that's who I want. I would give up LVN before I'd give up Carl Brooks.
It's easy to give up a guy who hasn't won a single one-on-one pass rush rep.
Here is
Burn.
That's just
you're
stats,
treating him
Jason.
like Mark Murphy. So here is
He's a
the
complicated
compensation when the 27-year-old Khalil Mack was acquired by the Bears from Oakland. The Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a 6th-round pick. They got back Mack, a 2nd-round pick, and a conditional 5th-round pick. So basically, they gave up 2 firsts for Mack, and then to sweeten the deal, they got to move up from their 3rd-rounder to a 2nd-rounder and from their 6th-rounder to a 5th-rounder. But he cost 2 ones. That's
But
the
you
bottom
also said
line.
he's 27, right?
27
those 2 years,
as
those 2
opposed
years
to
matter.
29.
Yeah, those
Yes,
2 years
correct.
matter, which is why, again, I think the person that Diana Rossini talked to, whichever NFL GM, said, hey, it's just
John
going to be
Schneider.
a first plus, right? Like that general manager does not seem to think it's going to take 2 firsts.
So if it's a first and LVN, you say
Probably gonna take more.
you want more than that.
If I'm the Browns, yes.
No,
But
I'm
if you're the
asking from a
Packers,
Packers
you're jumping.
perspective.
I am like the Lakers.
I will-
I can't make this trade happen
I
fast
will
enough.
help LVN pack.
So, would you guys give up 26, 27 first-round pick
Yes, I would.
to get? I would too.
I would. Because it's the one thing they're missing, Tausch. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, your corners are going to get better.
You could use a corner and a number
I
one
could
wide
use
out
one,
too,
but
yeah,
like, the corners are going to get
I
better
agree.
with Garrett there because you're going to have to
Yeah.
defend less time because he's
no
gonna
arguing
be able
on
to get
that.
home.
Totally agree.
By the way, are you sure the Marshall player you were thinking of, Mike Green as opposed to Rice?
It might be. It could be Green.
Short name, Kip, something like that.
Yep.
What's Jerry eating? Oh, Jerry's eating rice. All right, we're going to continue this conversation. I want to get your trade proposals because this is no longer goofy, theoretical, getting Doncic trade talk. Myles Garrett has requested a trade while we were on the air today. I mean, I don't know what – I mean, that's when he posted it to his social media anyway. I don't know how long he's been talking to the Browns, but it is out there, Jerry. He wants to be traded. If you're a Packers fan, Goody was asked about this, and I'm going to have Joshy, who I know is working very hard in the Grubel office's One Call That's All studios in the producer's tank. What do we call that? Behind the glass, you like to say, right?
Behind the glass.
I don't have that in my basement. Just have all my knickknacks. But I know Goody talked about this in his season-ending presser, the idea of giving up premium picks for an established player. And I want to get that audio ready because that would augment this conversation. I think Pete Doherty was the one who asked about it in that press conference. And he basically, the first words out of his mouth were, you better be right. I think with Myles Garrett, you'd most likely be right. We will get to your trade proposals on the Carbless Talk and text line after Tausch tells us about his love of Coors Light.
Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado.
That's a great question.
In 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It's crisp. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light.
Wilde And Tausch is presented by
Moment to Chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company. Doesn't matter if it's over all kinds of different noise. It's always Coors Light in my hand. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I don't have to say good job, Riley. I could say thanks, Big Cat. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and a Pallet Care inspection. Visit PalletWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Listen up, guys. If you haven't been giving your significant other chocolates from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier, then you've been doing it all wrong. Your wife or girlfriend will love the handcrafted, unique chocolates created right here in Madison. Stop by their store on Atwood and enjoy the ultimate chocolate experience today. Once you taste the difference that locally owned and made chocolate provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Show her you care by getting a box of chocolate from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier on Atwood.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
You're listening to Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball.
Lillard, three-pointer for the lead. It's Dame time.
Madison's home of Dame Time is 100.5 ESPN.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing.
So they don't have enough assets to get Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, right? I can't do my. I think I figured out a way for us to get Bonds and Griffey, and we don't have to give up all that much. Joshy, did you successfully find the Goody sound of him talking about the idea of trading premium draft picks for a player?
I didn't.
Okay.
Can I find it in the next minute? Yes.
Being the professional that you are.
I didn't know I was the one that was being looked for that.
I don't, the one, I love being, it's fun being down.
Oh, boy.
What?
Oh, boy. Well, this is what happens. Jesse's out, and the place just, I don't know.
Okay, first of all, let's be honest.
I don't know.
Jesse's out a lot. We're happy that sources say he's home safe and sound from his trip on the Love Boat, and he'll be back tomorrow. But that's probably on me. I didn't do the greatest job of communicating there. But I'm always I don't know who I can talk to when. I can't talk to you down the line.
Yep.
So I can't and I can't talk to Riley. So
I've got two pieces of audio here. Better be correct if trading draft picks for veteran players.
That's it. You better be right. That's the one right there. God, you're good. Here is Brian Gutekunst when he was asked after the season ended about the idea of giving up premium draft picks for an established veteran, expensive football player.
Being a really high pick for a player.
Better be right, because those picks are, I think, and I'm assuming you're talking about a player, like a veteran player, right? Yeah. When you trade a high pick for a veteran player, you're trading a young, really good contract for a player who's proven, but probably expensive, so you're giving up a pick in salary cap space. So I think you gotta weigh that, and if it's the right player, if you feel he can be a dynamic player that can change your football team, I think you got to consider that because there's not many of those guys out there. But I think you have to also understand what you're giving up,
All right, so that is Goody talking about the idea of giving up premium draft picks for an established player who also is expensive. Now, you heard him say you're giving up a young, really good contract. Does that change any of your thought process about how willing you think he would be to make this move? Or do you think that answer doesn't really affect when you're talking about a guy of Myles Garrett's stature?
Yeah, Myles Garrett is not – this isn't some I don't know what I'm getting. You know what the contract is. And by the way, the young player on a young player's contract is great if they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not, it's disappointing. So I think you have to equate. You can't just equate, well, it's a young player, he's cheap. But if they're not doing the job, that's when you have to go. Because when you draft someone in the first round, you are expecting them to elevate into being not always Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, but something adjacent to that.
Mm-hmm.
And typically then, if you don't get that production, then all of a sudden you're chasing with another pick, and you don't know if that'll work out. Or you do what he's done in the past, where he went Z and P. Smith. And what do you do then? You're paying guys that you hope are going to be big-time players.
Yeah.
And in Goody's cases, he's been very good at his big splash free agent pickups. He's been very good. And if he is going to do this, he knows that Myles Garrett is somebody that is very good and will be the guy that he wants. And I think the success he's had with Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs is going to embolden him to make a big play. Now, he is always
you
at
admit
his
you
core.
want that, though. You're saying your hopefulness and the idea of it emboldening. I agree with you, by the way, but it is also because you really want this to happen. And as Bob on the Milwaukee Talkin' text line, Jaws in Milwaukee says, "Hey boys, Goody and TT before him, they hang on to draft picks like grim death. This is never going to happen." I disagree with him because of the stature of the player. And you gave me go ahead.
I understand Bob's point, and if I could have finished my sentence before Jason smartly jumped in, not mad, just pointing it out, these other picks were not trade.
That was the euphemism for rudely. So smartly.
That was free agency. And while you lose compensatory picks and whatnot, it is going to be difficult for Brian Gutekunst to give up a first-round pick, especially, and I've seen this a bunch, there are a lot of fans are thinking like Gabe Neitzel, that it's going to be more difficult because it's in your backyard. It's your baby. Yeah. Don't give it up. So I just don't – I fundamentally think that's crazy talk, but enough people are saying it. I want to at least adhere and listen that might be part of the equation. I don't believe it is, but enough people have said it. So I agree with Bob's initial point, but Goody, I think, sees the sense of urgency. He realizes it. I do think the seat's going to get a little warm. If you have another season that's disappointing, So all of that said, this is different. He is a Hall of Fame. He is going to be a Hall of Fame player, and he's not, no offense to Von Miller. Buffalo tried this. Don't do what Buffalo did. Don't pay a 33, 34-year-old guy, but if he's 29 and still balling, and he plays the run, and he's a pass rushing fool, go get him. And I wish Cleveland would have Doncic this and just called Goody last Sunday and said, hey, yo, Goody, hey, man, you interested in Myles Garrett? And Goody's like, are you being serious? Yeah, you're the first call we got. Let me know what you're thinking. Oh, yeah, we'll give you LVN in a first. Yep, let's do it. Now you're going to have bidding wars. And what Goody's not going to do is go crazy. He would have needed this to be Doncic-y. And unfortunately,
is that like a
this is going to get crazy. And I think you're going to see people with high picks in this year's draft really start looking at it and saying, this is a great way to start building our program. And Cleveland is going to want those top 5 picks because they have a quarterback that they need to get if they're not going to tank for Arch next year.
Because they screwed up the quarterback. All right, here's what we're going to do. Because, again, this is not – we did not know this was going to play out during our program today. So next, we are going to talk about Myles Garrett's contract, what exists and what he will want. Spotrac has
Can we agree, Jason, that
information on that.
Ja is not going to be a part of this?
Well, I don't think Ja is going to be on their football team regardless.
That's what I'm saying.
So
there's a lot of people that are saying Alexander this. Ja's going to be free to get from the Green Bay Packers. You're not going to be able – if somebody is willing to – let me tell you this. If the Cleveland Browns are like, just give us Jair Alexander and a first-round pick, this thing's done yesterday. That ain't going to be the case.
And we'll give you a second-round pick back. No. So, but maybe you deal him to another team and you get another asset. So you get a fourth-round pick for him, say. You now have that in your arsenal as well. You can use that as trade or to make up for one of the picks you're going to give up. Here's what we're going to do. Next, I'm getting a bunch of texts here on the Milwaukee talk and text line, the Carbless talk and text line in Milwaukee, 800-990-3776. I've got that in front of me.
What about the Milwaukee YouTube? Sounds like you never go into the Milwaukee YouTube.
No, I've been in both of there, but this has been kind of big news, so it's a lot of information to try and process. Plus, being around actual other human beings during the show is another factor. I've gotten to see Gabe and Brian D. and
just
Big
not
Cat.
your own family on a vacation.
Right. They've arrived safely at Tampa International, though, so I'm happy to hear
That's
that.
Good.
Get their rental car. So we're going to do the contract piece next. And then Joshy, because he's the hardest working man in show business, has found the audio about Goody in which he mentions the name Reggie White in his answer. That's where we'll start in the 11 o'clock hour. But I want to talk about the contract, and we'll do it next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Test Rest, a Beauty Rest black mattress for your chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at just $3.99 only at Steinhoffels.
There's a ton of new faces joining the Wisconsin Badgers volleyball team. Head coach Kelly Sheffield joined Jim, Matt, and Molly, and he explained just how new this entire roster is.
Carter Booth is the only person on our team that has been through our spring. This is Charlie's first spring. This is everybody else on our roster's first spring here. So, Charlie was kind of talking about today's practice was a little quiet.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
Mark Tauscher here for the Super Automotive Team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in St. Prairie. The name you can trust. Well, the countdown is on to crown another champion in football. And while I sure wish Green Bay was the team that would finish on top, there is another team in Wisconsin that's consistently recognized as being the best of the best, and that's Zimbrick Chevrolet. Year after year, Zimbrick is recognized as a best of Madison operation. And just like the best football teams have to be at their best in all three phases, Zimbrick is great across the board. Whether you're looking for a simple tune-up or you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Stop in and say hi to some of the friendly faces on Main Street in St. Prairie, or start searching for what you need from home by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Either way, I hope you take some time and discover what this super team I've been telling you about for all these years at Zimbrick Chevrolet is all about. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in St. Prairie is the name you can trust.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
Mark Tauscher here. It's now Valentine's Day approaching, and I don't have to sweat it this time around. I've gone to see the team at Chalmers Jewelers, and it has made my gift giving that much better. They travel all over the world to find the best, ethically sourced diamonds available and hire the best custom jewelers around. Valentine's Day gifts, engagement rings, custom jewelry, watches, and accessories. Chalmers Jewelers, where custom costs less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
We're on the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They were good. They were not good enough.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Myles Garrett has asked for a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Tausch, do you think in the other 30 markets, because they aren't doing this in Cleveland, I'm sure at our ESPN Cleveland station they're talking about how Myles Garrett wants to be traded. The other 30 teams, other than the ones doing a Packers show like us, they're all having this conversation, right? So a couple of dudes in Phoenix are having this conversation about the Cardinals getting them. Pittsburgh.
Well, yes, but I think realistically, Myles Garrett probably can control this. You know, it used to be tough luck, you're going where we send you. NFL guys have kind of taken that NBA attitude on, and
Aaron Rodgers.
You know, the Lakers. I don't know if I'd say that. I think he definitely, tried to push that narrative. The Lakers. Anthony Davis had to waive a $6 million trade kicker in order to kind of make that work from Dallas's end to get under an apron. And I don't want to bore you with all the details. But bottom line is,
too late.
If Myles Garrett doesn't want to go, the trade ain't going to work. He'll say, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going to report there. And it used to be tough luck. We're going to fine you this. Mike Tomlin hit it on the head. He doesn't want hostages. He wants volunteers. And that is what most NFL organizations are looking. There are 31 teams that would be better with Myles Garrett on them. I can't say that about every other player. Like Max Crosby would be another one. But there's probably, 10 or 12 teams that don't have that aren't paying that, have cap space, and also have legitimate championship aspirations.
Yeah.
Green Bay would be at the top of that list.
All right, so I want to get to the contract first because then Joshy unearthed that audio that I want to play about where Goody actually mentions the Reggie White trade and points out how very rare it has been.
Jason, can we agree on this? Because I've responded to a couple of tweets. This would not have the same impact organizationally that Reggie had.
So I think it's fair. And even though you misrepresent my McKinney-Woodson comp, even though I was very meticulous in explaining it and then proven largely right, including by Charles Woodson himself on this show, but that's fine. Keep misrepresenting it. That's what you do. But
what?
Oh, you heard me.
You said. I didn't misrepresent. You said it.
You did.
And then you've doubled down on it.
There was nuance to it, and then Charles joined the show. You were here that day. So was Jesse, I think. And Charles backed me up.
I take days off, unlike everybody else around here.
Okay. I can't wait for you to move to Sonoma, like I've moved to Milwaukee. But from a player in his prime, a pass rusher in his prime, remember Reggie spent, 1 or 2 years in the USFL first, right? Reggie was 31 when the Packers acquired him. Now, to your point, from a game-changing how the organization is viewed, this is not that. because of Reggie White and Brett Favre and Mike Holmgren and Ron Wolf and Bob Harlan, they are viewed now, 30 years later, vastly differently. They needed the Reggie White signing to change the perception of Green Bay as Siberia. So that will not be
Jason,
the case here.
I'll say this. Xavier McKinney's been a great pickup, no doubt. I believe Myles Garrett's pickup could be Charles Woodson-esque when it comes to depoy and having that impact.
Yeah, he's the reigning defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I'm saying he could have that kind of impact.
Yeah.
And bring a championship back just like Charles did. That's my point. So I don't want to poo-poo. He ain't going to be Reggie, people. Like, it's just not.
Well,
and it's mainly...
but could he be as productive as Reggie? Not changing the attitude. Right.
Football-wise, what he can do on the field, he can do similar things outside of the club. I don't think he's a club guy that Reggie White did. That's how much impact he could make.
Poor Max Lane in that Super Bowl. Reggie White, during his 6 years in Green Bay, had, for his time in Green Bay, 68.5 sacks in 6 years. He won a Defensive Player of the Year award. He was a Pro Bowl pick every single year. He was All-Pro every single year. The only time he actually won Defensive Player of the Year, though, was 1998, his last year, when he had 16 sacks, which was the most he had during a season in Green Bay. Now, let me get to this contract quick because I want to get to this Reggie White conversation more in depth because of Goody's reference to Reggie a couple weeks ago. Myles Garrett's going to want a new contract, too. The 2 years remaining on his deal, 2025, $19.8 million base. 2026, again, this is according to Spotrac. 2026, $25 million base. Those are both non-guaranteed. So he does not have any guaranteed money left in his deal.
And I think that's
the
probably
projection,
a big reason why he wants to be traded.
Might be part of it. I'm no expert. Tausch, the projection from Spotrac, which Michael Giannitti is the guy's actual name, by the way.
30 a year, I'm going to guess?
4 years, $137 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that is $27 million a year, $37 million a year.
Yeah, I was going to say it's well over 30.
$37 million a year.
Yeah, but again, that is the going rate. You wouldn't see the end of that. It would be 2 years of guaranteed money is what you'd hope for, and I think you'd pay 2 years, $60 million guaranteed to get Myles Garrett. That's the price of doing business. You're paying Rashawn Gary $25 a year right now. You make this move, Rashawn Gary's contract is going to be off your books as soon as it possibly can. Let's make sure we're clear about that.
Perhaps he's part of the trade. All right, I want to get to this Reggie White comp, much like my Xavier McKinney, Charles Woodson comp, which was right on
Jason,
the money.
that does change the metrics of this trade.
It does. That's why I wanted to get to the contract so much.
All right, good job. Good boy.
Thanks.
Good boy.
We will now get to the next part.
Who's watching your dogs right now? Since you can't, who's watching your dogs the last 2 days?
Well, they traveled with us. They're at the hotel right now. We got a pet friendly room. So as soon as I get off the air, I'll go pick them up and head back home to Green Bay, and then we'll be a nice happy family, just me and all the animals, all the four-legged
friends. What happens if the maid
friends.
Comes in to do it and the dog opens the door?
There's a tag they put on the door that says
they say, "Your
this is a
housekeeping
pet room."
Oh, you mind? Can you slide out of the way, Rufus? Trying to get this bed done.
Excuse me, Fido.
Stella and Sadie. Stella and Sadie. For a guy that won't get his poor daughter a dog, you sure do a good dog bark, by the way. We will get to this Reggie White quote from Goody to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. That will occur in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde And Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. All season long, catch the best area high school basketball games every Tuesday night on 100.5 ESPN and live video streaming free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Starting in the NBA, Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers for an aging, injury-prone Anthony Davis and a few tornadoes from the Quick Trip Hot Bar, of course, rocked the sports world this weekend. But aside from that, the Bucks also played last night, dropping their home game against the Memphis Grizzlies 132-119, despite 30 points from Giannis and 20 from Cash Money off the bench. And speaking of Chris Middleton, the Bucks are still reported to be in the mix for a Jimmy Butler trade with the Miami Heat after the Warriors dropped out last night. And if that were to happen, Chris Middleton is expected to be a major piece. The NBA trade deadline is this Thursday at 2 p.m., so head on over to ESPNWisconsin.com to stay up to date on the latest Bucks trade news, as well as the Packers trade news, as Myles Garrett announced about an hour ago that he requested a trade. Stay tuned for more discussion on that.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Myles Garrett Central, some might say, begins now. We'll continue to take your proposed trades. I got one from not Jack Nicholson over at my end. First round pick, Gary Van Ness and Jair.
You handle the truth. Can you handle the truth on what it's going to take to get Myles Garrett in here?
Also, Billy in Sussex earlier, when back when we were having other conversations about other things, hate the smell of cigarettes, but the smell of cigars, easy for me to say, is amazing. You agree with that statement about cigar smoke?
Yeah, I like a good cigar every once in a while. Sure. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
All right, we'll get to more of your texts on the the Carbless Talk and Text line. List is more. 800-990-3776 is the Milwaukee one, which I have right before me, distracting me with all my other stimuli. 844-770-3776 is the one in Madison in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, where Riley is keeping an eye on those. But speaking of great producers, Joshy has unearthed the audio again from Goody's final end-of-the-season press conference. Now, this question, as I recall it, and I think the person asking it was trying to get at a Davante Adams type question without saying Davante Adams' name because he's under contract with the Jets still technically. But it was, what about the idea of getting a guy who's at the back end of his prime was the phrase that the questioner used. Let me ask you this before we play it. Do you think Myles Garrett is at the back end of his prime at age 29 and 36 days?
Yes.
Okay, that's a fair phrase to
Very
use
fair.
then, because then
still has
I want
really good years ahead. But is he going to be the same player he was 26, 27? No, I think there's a reason guys don't want to pay guys after 30.
Right. So that was the question that was posed to Goody. Here is, and he brings up Reggie all by his own self. Here is how Goody responded.
Is that something that you see value in, or is that something you'd like to stay away from?
It all depends who the player is, and what what he could give you. I don't particularly want to see somebody on the backside of their career. I don't think that's something I'd be particularly interested in. How old was Reggie White when Ron signed him? I mean, he was in his 30s, I believe, but he wasn't on the backside of his career by any means, So I think it just depends on the player and what you think he has in front of him, it just depends on the player.
Now, again, he goes on to say that they have not done that very often. They have not made, basically, what trades have they made to bring in players? It's Favre, and that's about
not
it.
A lot. Yeah, it's the Packers have a certain way about doing business under Ted and Goody. That is the direction they want to go, and I think that's the smart thing to do. But again, it's different when you're talking about talents of this magnitude. Nobody thought when they gave up a first for Brett Favre. I think a lot of people were probably Atlanta. Matter of fact, Favre and Doncic are probably very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, he's overweight. He doesn't work hard. He's drinking too much. All this other stuff.
Missed the team
Doncic
picture.
is Favre before Favre. So bet big on the Lakers because Doncic could end up being like Favre. The whole concept of this is you don't see guys like this become available. And when you're dealing in contract, there's a lot of moving parts. And even though I'm going to be up front with my pom-poms trying to get Myles Garrett here because I know how big a difference he could make.
You're very pommy.
The trouble with that is this is exactly what Goody is saying are the pitfalls of this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You have to give stuff up. And I think Goody is fine doing one or the other. He doesn't want to get double-decked here. Myles Garrett's a double-decker. You're not only going to have to give up stuff that you don't want, the idea of a cheap young player that could be super impactful.
Correct.
And then you got to pay
top
dollar to a guy that's going to be turning the wrong side on the wrong side of 30 within that deal relatively quickly. But you hear what he said about Reggie. You hear how he views things.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you – normally I would say this ain't happening, Captain. And if I'm betting, I'm going to say it doesn't happen because I think it's going to get super expensive. There are teams that are going to go bananas and not be disciplined about what it's going to take to bring Myles in. There's a lot of teams with a lot of cap space. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chicago Bears, the New England Patriots, there are teams that have $100 million sitting there ready to spend. Green Bay ain't that. Green Bay's got that Jordan Love contract looming that is going to start hammering away at the cap in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pay Zach Tom. They have young players that they're hopeful are going to be guys they have to pay, and all of that has to be in the equation of this. I don't think Goody wants to get double-decked, and Myles Garrett will be a double-decker.
Mm-hmm. First of all, from the Carbless Talk and text line, Don is clearly a longtime listener to the program because he Riley, put that back up for me. The trade of Aaron Rodgers. We all know how smitten you were with the pick swap. Now, if we look back,
and by the
pick
way, I was
swap
right.
didn't go very well.
It worked out
Will
bad.
McDonald
It worked out
turned
bad.
out great for the Jets. Elvia, not so much. Don and Mayville. Garrett for this year's second, Van Ness, and next year's first. If that doesn't do it, throw in an old Tausch pick swap. Yeah, I like the plan. Tausch, let's be honest. I think, and I've seen this a couple. D-Lister 72 in the Milwaukee YouTube comments said this. A few others have. I'm sorry I don't have everybody's username at my fingertips. I think, and you made this point earlier, I don't think they want to be taking on cap money. So forget Jair for one. We all agree on that. But I think they'd much rather have LVN than have, say, Rashawn Gary going back. They don't want Rashawn Gary's contract. Now, Rashawn Gary's contract is structured in a way that his guaranteed money runs out pretty quickly too. So it would be kind of like an NBA expiring contract, if you will, where you could move on from him fairly quickly. But I think
the Packers have to take on – the problem with that is if the Packers traded Rashawn Gary, they'd have to take on all of the cap from the bonus.
They would take that hit.
And that's another number they don't want. So
that's a triple-decker.
That would be triple-decker.
Are we ruining this for you? Is that what's happening here?
Yes, I was just going to say, as you know, my train of thought continues to go, and there's that excitement level of, wow, this is exciting. I'm fired up to have this come into my life. And then all of a sudden you start seeing the cost of what it's going to be. Yeah, I'd love to have a house in Malibu, like the oceanfront. Oh, that's great. Well, it costs this. Oh, okay. Well, you also have to have the HOA fees and the property tax.
Fire
and
insurance.
All this other stuff. And then you start looking at it like, well, man, that's, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be great to have that, but then I got to go out to Malibu all the time. And then, oh, well, if I don't do this, blah, blah, blah. There comes a point where it becomes too expensive and cost prohibitive. And the fact that the Myles Garrett contract, I didn't realize all of his guaranteed money is gone. That, my friends, is why, outside of the fact that the Browns stink, that's the real motivator. He ain't going anywhere without a new deal that puts him top of market.
You're right.
And by the way, Micah Parsons is looming with Jerry Jones. He's going to get a big boy, 36, 37 mil a year. All of a sudden, if you're paying that from Green Bay, I don't want that. As great as Myles Garrett is, I ain't interested in that.
This
I
has
want
been
him
quite
at
a journey.
I want him at this 2 years, basically $60 million, and let's ride. That ain't going to get it done.
Let's ride. Okay, Russell. After he snubbed you.
I'm
all
getting
right.
back to Hendrickson. I think you've
my
made me
God.
excited.
The pendulum. You are Miley Cyrus on the big wrecking ball. You have done a full swing here. You were all in on Myles Garrett, and now we have. I didn't even get to tell you the odds that have been established for his next team, which maybe will make you swing the pendulum back.
All right, let's hear it.
How about this?
After the break.
So Riley, I'm sure, worked very hard on his Sports Weekend recap trivia. But we can do our boy, old Jesse Nelson, a solid. And we can double up trivia tomorrow. That way, Jesse, maybe even he can get Riley to write tomorrow's trivia too, which is generally a Badgers Trivia Tuesday. But we'll save trivia. We're going to skip trivia today because I want to talk to you about these odds that I just had sent to me of Myles Garrett's next team. And I will have you know that the Packers are inside the top 10 of the odds makers' destinations for Myles Garrett. I'll tell you how high they are, and then we'll get to Will Riley, and then we'll wrap things up after that. But I'll tell you where they land. I think you're going to swing again. I think the old big swinger, the big pickler, is going to swing back to having his hopes a little bit, even with his triple-decker sandwich that Goody doesn't want to eat. I will tell you where the odds have the Packers as the next team for Myles Garrett next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with First Serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for nonstop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season. Visit lovb.com today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison. Hi, I'm Lauren Carlini, Olympic medalist, proud Badger alumni, and now founding athlete of Madison's newest professional volleyball team, Love Madison. I'm excited to invite you to our inaugural season where we will be playing at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse and Alliant Energy Center starting January 25th. Visit lovb.com to get your tickets for Love Madison's historic first season in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Wilde And Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare leave me now, throw my heart on the ground, 'cause tonight ain't the night for
The Whistler, he's Mark Tauscher. I'm Jason Wilde, it's Wilde And Tausch. Here are... Let me make sure I give... Sports Betting is who sent this to me. And again, take this for what it's worth.
Okay.
Which ain't much. But there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams with more likely odds, according to at least this sports book, to get Myles Garrett in a trade. They have put the Packers at 10-1. The Buffalo Bills are also at 10-1. the teams with shorter odds. Am I using that correctly, old boy? Eagles 9-1, 49ers 8-1, the Las Vegas Raiders 7-1, the Kansas City Chiefs 6-1, the Washington Commanders 5-1, and this I don't understand at all, unless they're going to then let Micah Parsons walk. The Dallas Cowboys 4-1.
Yeah,
how does that make sense?
Dallas makes no sense, but the team that I'm most concerned about is Washington, because they now are emboldened to think that they're really close. They have a quarterback that has control of another 4 years of his salary that will line up nicely with paying Myles Garrett bonko dollars. I'm guessing they have a ton of cap space.
Defensive head coach.
Because let's be honest, I think we all get caught up, and somebody on Twitter was just kind of saying, well, he said they have to go to a contender. Who would have thought Washington would be a contender last year at this time? Nobody. Right?
That's fair.
Things change quickly. The dollars will be what they be, and you can talk yourself into being a championship contender when you get $150 million guaranteed. So I don't think that's what's going to happen with MG. I don't know if Buffalo will have the cap space. It's cap space and who's willing. The Kansas City Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes on a very nice 10-year deal.
They did.
The Kansas City Chiefs find ways to maneuver and do things. If Travis Kelce retires, there's money coming off the books. There's just – the Chiefs are in a great spot to continue, and they will see – boy, it'd be nice to have him and Chris Jones together. Ooh, that could be pretty good. That's where we're at. So the Chiefs and Washington are the two that scare me the most as being really viable options for the Cleveland Browns to take a long, hard look at. But the fact that Green Bay's that high is encouraging because Vegas knows. You guys all know Vegas knows.
I don't know if they know about this sort of thing. This feels a little guessy to me.
Oh yeah, Jason. Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, they
well,
like to.
Now wait a minute. All right, you're getting after me, Josh. You back me up on this.
Yeah,
so,
this is based on nothing.
I mean, this. If we go back and look at all the odds they've put out for various players' trade destinations, I bet their hit percentage is way worse than when they actually put spreads together.
Jason,
for games.
that's not what they're. Well, okay, so you and Josh both. Let me give you a little lesson.
We're gonna get scolded here.
Put your little deal down. Las Vegas doesn't care why Dallas is at 4-1 is because you have a bunch of Cowboys fans that will say, "Oh, I think we're gonna get him," and they'll go put a bunch of money on it. And when he doesn't go there,
that's exactly what.
Are you not agreeing with me?
No,
then?
but you're not.
You said
you guys don't get. You don't get the game.
You won't be able to bet this in Las Vegas. Bet won't exist. Because this is promotion. They want their name mentioned as
and
part
it works.
of these.
I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yes, this isn't.
Oh yeah,
because
Las Vegas doesn't want a bunch of money coming in that has no chance of hitting. Because they want to give out money and say it's.
All these bets are limited
you guys don't
in how
get
much
it,
you
which
can
is
bet
fine. I'm not
going to
get into
take a big handle.
Joshy,
wait a minute.
I'm not going to get into
you and I. No,
you're not.
You're agreeing. We're all in agreement. This is to take some sucker money. But what I'm saying, you said Las Vegas knows what it's doing when you said that, okay? I thought you meant
because they know how to make money. They know how to make money.
Okay. When we say that the guys in the desert know what they're doing when we're talking about point spreads, we're saying that they always seem to know to make it a really smart point spread and make it difficult. The Prize Picks guys who set the projections are really smart. They're really good at making it hard. In this instance, what you're saying about them being smart isn't because these odds are accurate depictions. It's they're smart enough to get people to bet on something dumb that they don't really know either. They have no idea where he's going. So this is not the same kind of smart as, ooh, the spread is 5.5 and it's really hard to pick. And I'm going to lose on it.
I never said it was
I know, but when I hear you say they know what they're doing, that's what it sounds like to me.
But they do.
Vegas always knows is a term that's long established.
If I could change subjects.
Two things can be
because this is not going
at the same time.
Here's
the bottom line.
Okay, you should really
we don't
the
care.
bottom line.
Jason, If you don't care, then don't read it.
Okay. Hey, oh boy, just let me finish, and then it's all yours. So, regardless of the
odds, I have
odds,
to chime in. Vegas always knows.
We can
That's
only
my
hope.
line.
So they have the Vikings and the Bears at 20-1, and the Lions at 14-1. You made a very good point about the Commanders. If you're a Packers fan and you're not going to get Myles Garrett, is there any part of you that's worried that one of the other 3 NFC North teams could get him, regardless of what Vegas says odds-wise?
Yes. I would be concerned. Myles Garrett's a field tilter, and immediately, let's say Detroit gets him. You already have hush that you're like, oh, boy. And then you're like, well, now they got Myles. Oh, boy. All of a sudden, now whether they can stay healthy, that's another conversation. The Raiders, Max Crosby and him, that'll be fun. But then you got to pay Paul to rob Peter. At some point, you're not going to be able to put money into other spots. You got $100 million
Where
set
does
in
Judas come in?
2 defensive ends. It ain't going to happen. So that's why teams have to be smart about how they're budgeting and everything else.
You're right.
And the fact Green Bay will have to triple deck in order to get Myles Garrett makes me think, for as much as I'd love to see 95 out there rushing off an edge next year, crushing Goff and everything else, the triple deck, I believe, is going to be too big of a deck to overcome.
So the triple decker is, let's just reestablish that before we put a bow on this. The triple decker is giving up draft capital because they always want their draft capital, giving up the young inexpensive contract that comes with the young draft picks, and then having to pay said player an extension when you acquire him.
Those are your triple deckers, yes.
And you think that is too much to overcome for
I think you
the
could
Gootnator?
maybe get away with, if it was 1, yes. 2, maybe. 3 is making me think that this ain't going to happen.
So if he had an existing contract that you would inherit that had some guaranteed money, but you wouldn't have to reset the edge rusher market to pay him as part of the trade, that's what puts you over the, I don't think this is going to happen. So basically we got to 11:34. This broke around 10-ish, a little before 10. So in the span of about an hour and 39 minutes, we went from all in on this to it's probably not going to happen. That's
so
where
Jason,
you're now landing.
The fan in me is still all in. But my knowledge of how
analysts.
Goody operates,
analyst.
As an analyst, I have to say I don't think it's. Listen, man, it ain't my money, it ain't my cap space, it ain't my young players. I want Myles Garrett from an analyst standpoint. I want Myles Garrett out there because he can make the defense better.
Yeah.
Period.
You're
Finn.
Right. No doubt.
But I also look at things and I want to be fair. I don't want to be hyperbolic. Not at least in this case. And with Goody, how he operates, that is a triple deck is a long way to go. That is a lot for him to do. And I think it will be a bridge too far when it comes. And the fact that there's going to be heavy negotiations on other teams' parts, going to make it that much more difficult. I'm concerned about that, and that's why I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, we need to get to Woe Riley, so young Riley Yauk gets his airtime. He has also been curating your texts on the Carbless talk and text line. We'll get to a few of those on this Myles Garrett now requesting a trade then. But Woe Riley is next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a PalaCare inspection. Visit PalaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
James got it on the near wing left. He's going to step back, hoist up a 3, and he cans it.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Keep your Myles Garrett trades coming. Matt on the Carbless Talk and Text line in Milwaukee. This show has been a journey of 1,000 miles with a Y.
I
Pretty
like
clever.
that.
I knew you would. Time for O'Reilly.
The guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde And Tausch.
Alrighty, guys. Obviously changing the tune of the conversation a little bit. Looking ahead to the Super Bowl. So, my friend's fantasy football punishment. Yes, pardon me?
Can you say that? I don't think you can say that.
He's not advertising something. You're safe.
Well, he might be. It's part of his fantasy team. You don't know if he's advertising. I just don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm going to get a Super Bowl of ice cream from the Salty Cow.
I was about to actually add an advertise in there. No, so looking ahead to the big game.
Good save,
this coming
Tausch.
Sunday.
There you go.
Nice.
Big game.
Looking ahead to the big game this Sunday. Loser of my fantasy football league is going to have to be it's under a different name, but the big game servant of everyone else. So if anyone needs a Coors Light or if someone needs food, he's got to go get it. That's his punishment. So I want to hear from you guys. I don't know your experience with fantasy football punishments, but is this fair? Is this a little harsh? Or is it a little soft, not hard enough of a punishment?
I think it's probably, I've seen worse when it comes to dressing and doing different stuff and, paying for more stuff. This is not anything financial big hit that your buddy has to go through. It is what it is, man. And I think the fact that you all get back together again, normally it's just the draft that you do it. The fact that you get everybody back together and you're punished without having to get a tattoo or a trip to Cancun or whatever else you do, I think this is fair game. I think it's a good punishment for whomever it was. Was it you?
No, thankfully it is not. I think I finished last in the regular season, but I gutted it out in the playoffs and finished like third to last. So
how do you make the playoffs if you finish last?
Everyone in the league made the
playoffs,
so I was fine. It was very close to being
ridiculous.
me. So
you finished last in the regular season, you should be schlepping Coors Lights for everybody.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'll let my friends know, but I think it's too late. We're moving on. We're moving on. My
How does everybody
lost.
make the playoffs?
Because I think
how does
it's
that even
an
happen?
8-team league, and we have an 8-man playoff. So
you go 6 and you give 2 buys.
Yeah,
you don't let every.
We had 4 teams in the playoffs, the championship bracket, and then the rest of us were in the consolation bracket. So I can't win the league, but I could lose the league, and I didn't. Guys clutched up in the playoffs.
I think, let me tell you this. This will make it better next year. Top 6 get in. 2 buys for the top 2, because the regular season should matter.
Oh, I've heard this speech before.
The 7 and 8 play for who has to be the servant at this party. The 7-8 game is where you play it.
Okay.
Bottom 2 are only 2 that get in the mix for that.
All right, we'll implement the new Tausch rule next season. I like that. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Jason, are you a big fantasy football punishment guy?
No, I think is Wally Lukaczynski from the Dam Sports Show in Beaver Dam. He's got to like bowl like at the local bowling alley to like a certain pin count as his punishment, and he ain't no Jesse Nelson as a bowler. So he's going to be there for, I think I did the math. If he averaged like 150 pins a game, he'd have to bowl like 29 games or something ridiculous.
And is
like
that where every Coors Light you have, it knocks off 10 pins you need to get?
There's that. There's
or you can eat food.
There's a spinning wheel that you can get other things that can either make it better or worse. Like you spin the wheel and they can open up the bumpers for a game but is this? I thought it was always just you get a bunch of money if you won. I didn't realize how long have there been punishments for losers like you?
Ooh, I mean, going back to my high school league, started freshman year of high school. There have always been punishments. One year I had to stay in McDonald's for 24 hours, and every chicken sandwich I ate resulted in 1 hour off my time. So
okay, so how many chicken sandwiches did you end up eating?
I was able to knock down like 18. Was there for 6
you ate
hours.
18 chicken sandwiches?
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. I didn't want to be there all day.
I'll tell you this: the new Quick Trip in I know this pains you to hear this, Tausch, but Oostburg is really nice, and it's got like a seating area. I think we should do something where the punishment is you sit in. You got to eat every item on the menu to shorten your time in the Quick Trip from 24 hours.
Every dunker you eat. That knocks a half hour off the time.
Oh, if you did an hour per dunker, I could be out of there in 10 minutes. Next.
Alrighty. Moving on. I watched Gladiator 2 last night. It was a solid movie. It's okay. So I want to know, not to reignite the beef in between our ESPN Wisconsin shows, but I'm going to be an instigator here. Who would win in a gladiator fight? The team of Wilde and Tausch, you two plus Jesse Nelson, or 3 of the members of KBN. You can choose to take out one, either Kyle, Brust, Nortman, or Strofe. Who would win in a gladiator fight? 3v3.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this. That's dumb. But I will get into the Gladiator. Gladiator should not have been sequelized.
Did you see it too?
I've heard nothing. No, I've heard nothing but horrible things about it. I heard it's god-awful. It was perfection the first time around. I don't know exactly what they all put in the Coliseum. I don't know. Did they put
Sharknado?
I don't know what was all in there.
There's a rhino in the Coliseum at one point.
I like rhinos.
A great white
but
shark?
I thought there was a shark. I thought I saw somebody on social media posting that. It didn't need to be sequelized. The old Tom Hanks movie on the island, that movie needs to be sequelized.
Castaway.
What happened? Castaway needs to be sequelized. Let's stop sequelizing movies that have no business being sequelized. Gladiator would be Exhibit A of that. So I am not going to watch it. I'll maybe wait. Hopefully, with one of the trips we have coming up, maybe it'll be on the airplane by then. By all accounts, it sounds like it will be because it was not a very good movie, according to sources close to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first Gladiator.
You
so
were
I
not
had no point of
entertained.
reference. Yeah. Heard I need to watch the first
You
Gladiator
watched the
movie.
second, but you didn't watch the first?
Yeah, it was just on. My brother put it on the TV. I hadn't seen it. I've never seen
Oh,
the
it went
first
right
one.
to video?
Yeah, it's already on streaming.
Oh,
well, that can't be a good sign.
Probably not ideal.
I mean, Oppenheimer, it took almost 6 years to get to video.
Gladiator 2 come out this year.
Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Okay, so we never got to the.
Tausch just heard enough now.
we never got to the
Oppenheimer
trade
came out
machine.
last year. Oppenheimer was out last year, was it not?
Was that 2 years ago?
It won the Oscar last year.
No, it was 2 years ago, Riley.
Okay. That's what I said,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the third topic.
What's happening right now?
We never got to the trade simulator today with the Myles Garrett news breaking. So for you guys, outside of a Myles Garrett-centric trade, what is your dream out-of-the-box trade for the Green Bay Packers?
Oh.
This was
Man, Myles
this
Garrett
is where we started the show,
Yeah.
and I think Tausch wanted Myles Garrett anyway.
That's the ironic part. Thank you, Miles, for putting that note out right at the right time of this show.
God,
so we could stop
what a
talking
teammate.
about Wilde's vacation and getting Jimmy on the south side all irritated with our show. I appreciate Myles Garrett, but that is the Myles Garrett, Max Crosby is where I would land for
Trey
this
Hendrickson.
football team. Trey Hendrickson's more realistic. That for this football team, that's where I want these guys to be.
I am very curious to see how this plays out. If he goes somewhere else, though, I still think Max Crosby, who is only 27, I might add, will also and is in the last year of his deal, so he'll need a contract too. But I don't know if it'll be quite as triple-deckery. Count me in on that. I want Max Crosby, and I'll give up a first. Would you give up a first-round pick for Max Crosby? Yes or no?
Yes. Well, of course you would.
Well, I don't know. The 33rd team, our buddies over there, said you could get him for a second and a third. So.
Well, they also said Jordan Love should sit out and get $72 million a year after he sat out a year.
Mike Tannenbaum did say that on our show. All right, that's it for Will Riley. Tausch and I will wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we continue to react to the Luka to the Lakers trade and look ahead to what else could go on around the NBA trade deadline. It's Unsportsmanlike.
Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN. You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com.
There's a ton of new faces joining the Wisconsin Badgers volleyball team. Head coach Kelly Sheffield joined Jim, Matt, and Molly, and he explained just how new this entire roster is.
Carter Booth is the only person on our team that has been through our spring. This is Charlie's first spring. Mm-hmm. This is everybody else on our roster's first spring here. And so, Charlie was kind of talking about today's practice is a little quiet. It's as they're all trying to get a feel for each other and things.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
Mark Tosher here for Pizza Hut, where the number 7 just got luckier. You already know how much I love Pizza Hut, but have you heard about Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu? Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites like pizza, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, and more for just $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With the $7 Deal Lovers menu, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have them both. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com. The $7 Deal Lovers menu, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Just announced 0.99% APR for 60 months on select new 2024 Audis. Eligible models include the Q4 e-trons, Q4 e-tron Sportbacks, and the Q8 e-trons. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per 1,000 finance. All offers require qualified credit through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends February 3rd, 2025. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com and see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
Matt Hamilton here. As a proud Wisconsinite, I'm all about supporting local. And there's nothing more local than Metcalf's Market. Metcalf's Rewards is your key to incredible savings. With thousands of coupons available every week, loyal members enjoy special pricing on select sale items. Plus, it's free to join. And when you sign up in-store using your phone number, new members instantly receive 500 points, equivalent to $5 off your purchase. Visit Metcalf's Market in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or in Wauwatosa today. And start saving with Metcalf's Rewards. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
I say go, baby, go, go, go. Oh, I say go till you can't go. No more.
We're almost out of time.
I say go, baby, go, go, go.
I don't know if I had more show left, Tausch. I don't know if I would focus on the fact that Riley inexplicably watched the sequel to Gladiator without having seen the first, which I've never seen the first either. I know the line, "Are you not entertained?" But I would
Can
never
you
watch the
imagine watching
second one.
Major League 3 and then thinking you should ever watch? You'd never watch Major League 1 or 2.
Correct.
That was.
By the way,
that was a mistake.
I just
want
to make sure Jim on the South Side, who has been a great potential Hoffer. We understand, Jimmy. I was put up on the screen. I didn't say you were mad at us. I just read it, so we're all good. Jimmy, you're one of the best. Don't get all wildy. Don't get all wildy here,
Jimbo.
I just wanted to add that as someone who loves Gladiator like you do and think it's a great film, I don't know what's more concerning. The fact that Riley went or watched it without seeing the first one, or the fact that they have sharks swimming in the Coliseum.
Great white sharks
in the sequel.
swimming in the Gladiator.
How does that happen?
I was just at the Coliseum, and I can assure you there's not even water around there. Sharks can't make it in dirt. All right, they can't.
All the sharks
Lions
in the Mediterranean
and tigers.
Sea.
You want to start putting hippos and all this other stuff. Now, again, I've always told you guys I've been mesmerized by the hippo-watermelon relationship. The jaw strength of a hippo is something to behold. If that makes it in, I might be all right with it, but I'm not interested in sharks swimming in the Coliseum. I may not watch this at all, but something tells me if I got a long flight and I'm bored, I probably will just to be able to talk about it. But come on now. Come on now.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. We will do this again tomorrow. Jesse makes his triumphant return from the Love Boat.
Probably.
He's scheduled to appear. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Thanks to Riley for filling in as our cousin sub of the day. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paint